Okay, here's our video on divisibility. So what is divisibility? Well, it's when we're dividing, right? When you divide and get a 0 as a remainder, when the remainder is 0, when you have no remainder, then you know that a number is divisible by another number. So for example, let's say I did 10 divided by 2. Well, we get 5. We get no remainder. So 10 is divisible by 2. It's also divisible by 5. So, right, 10, get another marker. If I had 10, and we can do that for division also, a fraction. 10 divided by 5 equals 2. So 10 is divisible by 2, and 10 is divisible by 5. And we can also use another example. Let's say 12 divided by 4. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. So 12 is divisible by 3. And we can also do it 12 divided by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And so forth. So there's divisibility rules. So let's look at the first one. The first one is easy. Let's say we're using the number 2. So we know if the number is even or 0, we know that 2 goes into it. Right? So for example, let's do an example here. If I had 12 divided by 2, well, we know that 12 is even, so we know that you'll get no remainder. Right? And that's probably one of the easiest ones. 15 divided by 2, though, 15 is not even, so it's not divisible. 15 is not divisible by 2. So again, the rule for 2, if we use our divisibility rules, the number has to be even or 0. The number has to be even or 0. 0 is not even or odd. So again, that's the rule for 2. Let's do one with 3. Okay, so how do we know a number is divisible by 3? So let's say we have 12 divided by 3. So we know that 3 goes into 12, so we know 12 is divisible by 3. So what you do is, there is a rule, you add up the sum of the digits. So here we have 12, so we add the sums, 1 plus 2 equals 3, and the answer you get, if 3 goes into that answer, we know 3 is divisible by it. So 12 is an easy one. Let's look at something like maybe 152. So if we see 152, let's add them up. What's 1 plus 5 is 6, and 6 plus 2 equals 8. Now 3 doesn't go into 8, so we know that 3 will not go into 152 evenly. All right, let's do another one. 143. Will 3 go into 143 evenly? Well, with the rule, we have to add the digits. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 3 equals 8. 3 doesn't go into 8, so it will not go into 143 evenly. So here's the rule for 3. If the sum of the digits is divisible by 3, then 3 will go into that number. So let's do another one. Let's do 106, let's say 2. 1062. Will 3 go into this number? Well, let's add the digits. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 2 equals 9. 3 goes into 9, so 3 will go into this number. 1062 is divisible by 3. So that's 3. Okay, let's try 5. Well, we did one before with 2. We know that 10 is divisible by 2, and we know that 10 divided by 5 gives us an even number. Also, gives us a number without a remainder. So we know that 5 will go into 10. So the rule with 5, I'll just erase this. The rule with 5 is the number has to have a 0 at the end or a 5 at the end. That's the rule with 5. So that one's an easy one, just like 2. Like, will 5 go into 57? No, because that's a 7. It has to be a 5 or a 0. Will 5 go into this number? 50,510. Yes, because there's a 0 at the end. So 5 and 2 are pretty easy. And I'll put the rule here so you can see. So if the number is 0 or 5, 5 will go into it. 4 is a little tricky. The last two digits you have to look at the last two digits of a number for 4, and if 4 goes into those last two digits, then it will go into that number. So if I had 116, well, the last two digits are 16, and 4 goes into 16, so 4 will go into 116. Look at the last two digits. Again, the last two digits of the number. So let's say, will 4 go into this number? 2028. Again, look at the last two digits. Does 4 go into 28? Yes, 7 times 4 is 28. So if 4 goes into the last two digits, it will go into this number. So 2028 is divisible by 4. So again, here's the rule for 4. Now here's one for 6. If the number is divisible by 2 and 3, so for 6, it has to satisfy 2 requirements. So let's look at this. Now, this is 135. Will 3 go into 135? Well, let's look. 1 plus 3 is 4, and 4 plus 5 is 9. 3 goes into 135, but 2 does not. Right? Remember, with 2, the number has to be even. So in this case, 6 will not go into it. It has to satisfy both 2 and 3. So let's put another example here. What if I had this number, 2,610? Well, let's look at 3. Will 3 go into 2,610? And will 2 go into it? So what do you think? Well, let's check 3. Let's add them up. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. And 9 plus 0 is 9. So 3 goes into 2,610. 2 goes into it because you have a 0 at the end. It's even. So since 2 and 3 go into 2,610, 6 will go into it. So we have the divisibility rules for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now 7, we're going to do in another video. It's a little tricky. And we'll do one more, and 8 we'll do in another video also. And for 9, the sum of the numbers have to be divisible by 9. So it's the same thing with 3. 9 has to go into the numbers. So let's look at this one. 1,521. So let's add this up. We have 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. Now, does 9 go into 9? Yes. So 9 will go into 1,521.